Hello again, and thank you for listening in English. It's very appreciated. This time we call the Richard Branson Hour. I don't know if you've heard Richard Branson at 3 o'clock every day goes for an hour nap. So I imagine that's what you all fancy doing right at the moment. But hopefully I can entertain you and tell you a little bit about my experience, real life experience with a company called Utilita. So Utilita are a new up-and-coming European company that deal with sort of prepay energy. So where people can't always pay every month, they have meters that they put little cards in and that type of thing. I'm sure you have them here. So they got into that market, and they're quite a new modern company. But one of the challenges, they had a vision and they've gone for investment. And one of the questions the investors, of course, asked, as I'm sure C-level and the board do in most companies, is where are we with AI? And it's a big question that they really wanted to try and answer. So they already use VERINT call recording, and they use VERINT WFM. They were sitting on Cisco on premise, and they really felt there was an opportunity to move quickly and be able to deliver AI to their agents with Summary Bot. So we were sent in motion, and the call summary leverages what I talked about earlier, DaVinci AI. It takes the call real time and transcribes it. And this is actually a real call summary. So I actually went to site and I sat there for a week listening to telephone calls. So within 2 weeks we turned it on. 2 weeks it was on. We ran it for 5 weeks, and I sat with a trial set of agents, 50 agents, and watched how it went. They just used it. They had some questions. Where do I put the summary? Should I edit the summary? What if it's not quite right? What do I do? They asked these questions, and it didn't take long before the business realized the call summaries were better than what the agents could do. The other big benefit we saw was when if you've ever been on a phone call or a conference call and you're making notes, you don't concentrate on the call as much. So the agents stopped making notes and started talking to people, which helped the customer and helped the agent. At the end of the call, pops up, they drop it in their CRM. They were also going through a Salesforce.com migration. They were moving to a new version of that as well. So they didn't want to touch that while that progress was going on. So we delivered this in around about 6 or 7 weeks up and running. We proved the benefit. And in this case, they copy and paste it into the CRM system. That's what they wanted. And then they make some minor edits if needed. 90% of the transcript of the summaries didn't need edits. I sat and watched it, and how any contact center lives without call summaries is beyond me. They are an amazing tool to use really quickly. So yeah, we captured the audio, which we were doing anyway, but we moved to real time. Real time is quite hard to do, but we nailed that. They're on-premise, Cisco, or their data center, and the call recording was in the data center, but our processing was in the cloud. So I know we talked earlier about the cloud. This was a mix in this instance, but we can do it in their data center if needed. We transcribe the audio real time using AI, and it improves that all the time. We create the summary. In this case, it is ChatGPT, but we can use different engines in different countries depending on what the best one is. We will try them all. And it delivers the summary to the agent, nice and straightforward. Sitting, watching it happen on agents' calls, 10-minute call, and at the end of it, they just had the summary to drop in place. So the results were, they rolled it out. We left it on for a couple of weeks because they said, we're good to go. We've proved the return. They used workforce management to measure the agent's time on the test agents. Some of these agents were outsourced agents as well, so they weren't even their own agents. They were outsourced agents, and they pay them to do after-call work. So this reduced the after-call work down as well. So reducing call taking by 54 seconds on average a 10-minute call. That's a 10% saving, absolutely huge. And in fact, in some of the time saved, This came out as around £650,000 in their case. The return can be a lot bigger, but these agents, a lot of the agents were in South Africa, so the returns are quite small because the wages are low. But still, and within 120 days, they had 400 agents live and up and running on Cisco. They're going to move to a CCaaS solution in the future. They're going to get their sales force settled in. But it meant we could deliver it really quickly now and in the future. They didn't have to wait for the benefit. And they went back to their shareholders and their investors and said, yeah, we've done AI. It's up and running. Let me show you it. Within 3 months. Mind-blowing. And they got the investment they needed to expand across other places in Europe. AI in action. This is business benefits being delivered. So yeah, the results high level. 54 seconds per call saving. I can't think of many projects that can deliver that within weeks. 3 times ROI, so the cost and the 3 times ROI for them. Higher quality summaries. The summaries were much better. The business said, these are fantastic. They're much, much better. Agents write summaries very differently. If I go off and have a coffee and come back, I think, oh, what was that last call about? I kind of make it up a little bit. You know, that happens. The summaries were there, hit, paste. We even record the fact they've copied it and pasted it, so we know they're using it, especially the agents offshore or at home. They know they're using it. Real benefits, 120 days, done. I sat and watched it myself, and one of the agents at the coffee machine said, if I went for another job and they didn't have call summary, I wouldn't go, because I don't want to go back to writing call summaries. Like I don't want to go back to writing emails myself. I use AI to do it, you know? So once you get these tools, I honestly believe this is a game changer, and every contact center on the planet will have this in the next year or so as a tool that they use. They have to. It's such a saving of time. So we did surveys and we asked the agents what they thought of it. And these were some of the comments, you know. Accurate, reduces the need for manual note-taking. I also quite like the last one as well. It needed better jargon handling. I went back 2 weeks later and they said, no, it doesn't. It's learned. It's AI. It understands our jargon. In the electric gas industry, there's a lot of jargon, a lot of words about meters and smart meters. And they said it's learned it somehow. It's great. It's self-learning. It's improving itself as it goes. So this one actually went away at the end. And, you know, more accurate summaries. So the tool improved workflow, efficiency, and potential of the future. They're now going to roll it out to another 400 agents in the different departments as well. And the guy said, we've got to tell people about that. So here I am telling you about this fantastic tool. I know you've heard about it a few times today, but delivering this really quickly is a benefit to your business now. Business outcomes is what it's about. But don't take my word for it. We're going to see it in action. But before that, what it's led to is now we've got call summary bot running. They said, what else do you do? Complaint handling bot. We're going to guide them how to handle complaints. Compliance bot. The regulations in that industry, we can check the calls for compliance. Knowledge bot. We're going to give them knowledge. Knowledge is power. And sentiment. Are they being positive and happy and keeping people awake? But yeah, let's take a look at the demo.